I'm Chris, welcome to this week's tutorial. Let's draw together.
In this week's tutorial, we'll be drawing a cute bunch of pansies in Procreate, and I'm sure you can create this too if you follow along all the way to the end. If you feel rushed, just be sure to hit that pause button and rewind to catch up, and save this video to your library so you can rewatch if you need some extra practice. Today we'll be using all free brushes found in Procreate, and don't forget that once you finish this entire video, to share it on Instagram, tag me in the images as well as the description so I can find it and feature your artwork here on the next Draw Together video. So for this video, I've made you a free color palette just in case you'd like to use the same color as me during this tutorial. And you can just tap on the link in the video description below where you can download and install it. And also below, you'll find a link to a goodie bag where there's some free illustrative goodies in there for you I'd love to give to you. And also there is a link to my shop so you can go check out what's going on over there. So let's jump in and create our canvas at 4000 by 4000 pixels, 300 dpi and sRGB. I'm just going to grab just a black here, and we're going to start with a sketch. So I'm going to go to sketching and 6B pencil. I'm going to have my pencil at about, I don't know, 45% just so you can see it. And I'm just going to start by getting some shapes going and just getting an idea of where I want these flowers to be. So I'm just going to start with a circle and kind of bring my center point here. And the way pansies go, they have a few layers of petals. So I'm going to bring one out here. It's going to be like that. Another one's going to be maybe like this. I'm going to have two behind here. Oops, maybe not quite like that. Two behind here. They'll kind of overlap. Kind of come out here. Maybe a bit more out there, like so. And then there's going to be this petal here. The one that kind of, I don't know, goes around like this. So that should be a good. So there's going to be 5 petals total. So that's fine for that one. I'm just going to shrink that down just a touch. Bring them over there, maybe sort of in the center. The next one I'm going to have over here, maybe they will be touching. Just kind of get that circle. Gonna have that. It's going to be have this one out in front, this lower guy, something like that. Sort of these 3 are always kind of in that design, and then 2 in the back can kind of vary. This one maybe will come over more, and this one will be, maybe that's a little bit too much, hold on. Over like that, and this guy, the 5th one, will sort of pop in at the back there. And then we'll have one over here. That'll be in the center of this guy, this front one coming in here. Okay, and then he's going to be over here. Back one. Okay, so that's sort of where we want those guys to be. Great, so then we're going to get the stems, and they will start from where the base is, so you can kind of get an idea. So they're a little bit on the thicker side, and this guy's going to kind of, maybe he'll curve a little bit more like that. So it'll be about there. This guy will be kind of coming in like that. Okay. And then some leaves. Sort of like so. And bring them in like that. Trying to decide. Actually, maybe we're gonna have like a little bud that's coming up here. Let's fill in this little area here. The bud will be just a bunch of wiggly here, little wiggly leaves like that. And it'll have the greenery on top, we'll see later. So that's just a little bud that's coming up. And we'll have some more leaves. They'll just be overlapping and falling behind. This guy, let's have him come over here. Like so. Maybe there'll be one back here. And kind of, yeah, I want them all to be overlapping and stuff. Like that. This guy in the back doesn't actually have any, so what are we gonna do there? I'm running out of room. Maybe in there. Okay, let's see how that goes when I do my better copy for my line work. So I'm just gonna take this and knock down the opacity to about 25%, create a new layer by hitting that plus sign. And then actually I'm gonna stick with my 6B pencil today for my line work. I think that'll work nicely for what we're trying to do here. So just stay on that, and I'm gonna stay at 45%. I think that was working just fine. So then I'm gonna go and just make some nicer line work. I'm gonna do these little details. So these little, oops, I'm on the wrong way. These little details, I'm just gonna do a little scoop like that, and then they're gonna have sort of a circle like that. So that's how the little centers of these guys go. And then I'm just gonna play with the pressure of my pen a little bit just to create these wiggly lines. And that will make a nice petal-y look. So you can kind of play with this. You know, again, I love nature because of its, you know, not perfectly straight lines. You can be wiggly and be a little bit interpretive, which is always nice. Okay, good. And then we're gonna do this guy. So these two little bean shapes, a little smile kind of. This guy's gonna come underneath this one. Like that. Okay, this guy lastly for this part, so just make them all kind of lacy and do like a little overlap here by drawing that line. It looks like it's folding over. Make those little fun details if you want. Okay, let's get this guy here. This is going to kind of be the leaf part over top of our bud. And then these will be, oops, these will be the petals here. Okay. And the stem. Okay. Right. So you just continue on and line your work, adding all the little touches that you want. So actually with the leaves, I'm gonna do this. So on the middle, I'm gonna go just do these little lines here for the veining. So I'm kind of pushing a little bit more at the beginning and easing up as I lift my pen at the end. Okay, so I think that's good. We can turn off our sketch layer here. So let's see what we've got. Okay, that looks good for now. And then I'm gonna add a couple more line details to this. So when we come in here, you can see this would be nice just to add a little line. And then maybe, I hope you can see this. So if when it kind of goes like this, you might see behind. So that creates a more realistic effect of how they'd actually be in real life, not so flat. So I like adding those little details too when they come up, and they're just not really planned, they just sort of happen as I do those little squiggly lines and stuff. So just bring in these little bits where you can find them. So from the center and also from the top. A few little ones more in the center sometimes, just to bring that in there. It looks good. Okay, I'll just keep going. So there again, this little scoop, if you put that line there, it'll look better, like it's folding. There's another one where you can make it look like that fold. Okay, so I think that's pretty good for that part. Now let's start coloring it in. So I'm gonna just do some solid fills and go over with some painting techniques. So I'm just gonna go below my sketch layer and add a new layer by hitting the plus sign. And let's go find some new colors. And let's start with the light pink color and go into inking. And I'm gonna grab that studio pen. I'm just going to use that for my solid fill. I'm going to turn off my background layer so you can see, because it's quite a light color. So let's just go in and I'm going to just fill this in. Just color within the lines. And then I'm just going to drag my color into there and fill that. Next, I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to use this darker pink color and fill in this one. I'm going to drag my color in and fill, and then we're going to do another layer and grab this light yellow color and fill in this one. Okay, and then I'm going to just do this little guy too. I'll make him yellow. All right. And then lastly, we'll just do our green. So create a new layer and get that light green color, and we'll fill in all our greenery. Okay, So now we have all our solid fills done and we're ready to do a little bit of painting and shadows and stuff like that. So I'm going to just create a new layer. Actually, you know, I'm gonna do a new layer, and I'm gonna use this dark orange color. And with the solid, we still have our studio pen. I'm just gonna do these little bits here all the way around. And then I'm gonna grab that medium yellowy orangey color and do the top two thingies. Okay, so then we have that done. Great. Okay, and then I'm gonna do a clipping mask on a bunch of these guys. So first I'm gonna go back to our pink and add a new layer, hit the plus sign, hit that layer and say clipping mask. So that will mean that we can only draw within this shape, which will be nice. Then we don't have to do a bunch of cleanup. I'm gonna grab that medium pink color and then go to my painting. Where are you painting? And grab my gouache. I'm just going to use that for now. Let's see, I'm going to be at about, let's say 5%. And just bring in some shadows here. So quite close to the beginning, I'm going to make that a shadow and just kind of have it so all the tips of the flowers are going to be lighter. And you can just have some lines up there if you want. Just sort of get in these grooves. And you can build that up by just doing layers too. And just get under here and all these little folds. Good, and then come behind here. And creating that shadow there. Okay, so hopefully you can see that. That's working. Okay, so then I'm going to do the same thing to this darker layer here. So I'm going to add new layer, hit clipping mask, and grab, oh, I didn't do a darker color, so I'm going to make this for you. Grab this darker color, kind of a reddy pink, and do the same thing. And if you make a mistake like I just did, you just get your eraser, take that out. I like to have this just to make sure that you're creating that sort of depth, having the dark behind and then the light tips of the flowers. I think that looks good. Okay, and then same with the yellow one. Create a new layer, clipping mask, and then get that medium yellow. And we'll do the same thing. And then we're going to come in here with this bud too. Okay. Perfect. And then same thing with our green. So create a new layer, clipping mask, grab that darker green, and just start bringing in some shadows here. Oops, I forgot to fill one of those in. Okay, so I'm just gonna go and fix that. Grab my green and drag and drop in there. There we go. Fixed. Grab the dark green again and just finish up with my shadows here. Okay, so we have a little bit of depth going on. I'm going to turn my background layer back on. I prefer it that way. Okay, so now let's just go and do the details for the that make pansies actually look like pansies. So I'm just going to continue on with my clipping, or the layers that I did for my clipping mask. You can make new ones if you want to. by all means, that would be less destructive. But today I'm just gonna do it over top so we don't have a ton of layers. So I'm gonna start with this medium yellowy color. So I'm on my pink one. So on that clipping mask above it, I'm gonna just go and sort of make that, I don't know, little face that they have, just with the yellow, and I'm gonna be layering it. I'm gonna start with this. So here it kind of goes, it's almost like a butterfly shape. Just gonna fill that in. Okay, and then I'm going to go and grab this quite dark eggplant purpley color and then go over top. So I want to have an outline of the yellow. And this is going to be quite dark. It's going to want to have the edges a little painty, but quite heavy in the center. Okay, so the same thing to the dark pink one. So I'm going to just go to that clipping mask layer, grab that medium yellow, same thing. Grab that eggplant color. Okay, and lastly on our yellow one. The yellow part won't show quite up as much, but we'll still put it in here. Again, grab that eggplant. I don't know why I'm calling it eggplant, it's purple. Sounds fancy. Okay, so it's looking all right, at least they look like pansies, right? But I'm going to make a few changes because for this picture I don't actually want my lines to be black. So what we can do, because I didn't feel like doing each line a different color, we can just do this after the fact. So this is a little thing that I do sometimes. Again, I'm going to create a clipping mask on top of my lined layer and then hit clipping mask. And I'm going to go in and just grab the colors that I want to make the outlines. So I'm going to go back to my inking and grab that studio pen. You can do this a number of ways. You can do this with studio pen, or you could just color it with a marker or anything like that, but I'm just going to use studio pen today. I'm going to grab this darker pink here, and I'm going to make the lines this color. So because it's a clipping mask, I can just go over like that, and it's going to just make my lines pink. So I can just really do a swoop, do a circle, careful around here, and just kind of make a circle around and then fill that circle in, and then just that part is that pink color. So I like that better, that look better for this particular thing. So I'm going to go and change everything here. So I'm going to grab this darker one and then do the lines for this flower. So I'm just kind of going all the way around, holding down my pen, making sure they line up again. And there we go. Just a little bit more subtle. Grabbing this dark orange, going here. Hopefully I got that in there. Yep, got that. And then won't forget about this while we're here. This little guy. And then I'm going to go and grab this dark green and do the same to my greenery. And you can just do it in the sections. I'm just trying to make sure that I link up or get it all covered here. And you can just go and color over top too. You don't have to do the drag and drop. It's just a little bit quicker sometimes. But when you're doing picky things like all these little details and it's a little bit harder to get in, you might want to do it all by hand. Okay, let's see if this works. Oops. Perfect. Okay, so that's a better look, I think, for this particular thing. And we can add another little touch here by going into the wrench, and I'm going to give you a free watercolor paper texture that is in the downloads as well, so go and grab that if you want, just to add another little layer to it. So I'm going to go to my wrench and to add insert file. I'm going to go into my Dropbox and go and find that wherever you downloaded. Yours will probably be on your iPad if you downloaded this watercolor texture. I'm going to find that, import that, and I'm just going to use the little toggles to expand it all the way out and make sure that it is at the top of our layer, and then I'm going to click the N and go to multiply. So that will give us a watercolor texture, which is a little bit nicer than just having it plain for this particular project. So I think that's it, guys. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, hit that like button, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so you can be notified of new tutorials just like this one in the future. I post every single week, so I'd love to see you back here. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.